It's the defense that you guys had the last 8 minutes or so. You're nodding, so you know where it's going. But what did you think of that? And is that as effective a stretch as you guys have had since you've been here?
Yeah, it definitely was the best defense I've seen since we got here, and it was monumental. Coach came in at halftime and told us that we need a best defensive performance now, especially because we was away from the bench, so they weren't going to be able to give us calls, and we pulled through, and just like a big shout out to Stretch, those plays he made late, it was just really big for us, 2 blocks and a steal, that really helped us take the lead even further.
If you want to add to that on Stretch's possession, the 2 blocks in the steal.
Yeah, he's amazing defensively. I mean, he's a big energy guy. He gets 2 blocks and a steal. 3 stops in a row, we call that a kill. So, I mean, he got a kill on one possession. That's always something that's really good. And, like JB said, we emphasize the defense. It was a really good team. So, to be able to have, factors like Stretch and all of us to come together as a team, to be good defensively meant a lot.
JB, this year it seems like defenses have really been giving you a lot of respect, fronting you, doubling you, all that. Can you talk about how you've been approaching that from your perspective? And I mean, I know today you got up to this point still, but can you talk about how you're approaching that?
I'm just trying to make the right play. I got really good teammates that can really make plays. I mean, we got 4 or 5 guys in double figures today. So teams are gonna have a hard time if they just worried about me because we got so many other weapons that can really make plays. So I just try to let the game come to me and let my teammates make plays and then make plays when I need to.
Right. You saw a few more shots fall down today for you. What's really helped you, get comfortable on the court thus far, and where do you see that going?
Definitely my teammates just consistently having trust in me. If I miss 2, they're still gonna look for me every time. I can't say the amount of times that JB has told me, just keep shooting the ball, go for 10, go 10 for 10. It doesn't matter. So just having my teammates consistently, giving me energy, giving me praise, whether I'm playing good or playing bad. That always plays a big way in leadership. JB, Stretch, and just all the older guys that have been here, just continuing to talk to not only me, but, all the freshmen. We have a lot of freshmen. So I would just say, like, the love that I get from my teammates all around has just been helping me for sure.
James, I know last year there was basically one way for you guys to win, which was just to outscore people. But you had a blowout, you outscored somebody, and then you've had this. Does it feel like there's more ways that you guys can find a way to succeed this year?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're just a lot more versatile. Like you said, Hofstra was a pretty good defensive team. They made it tough on us, but we was able to hang our hat on the defense end and bring it home that way. And that's something that we haven't had in the past. So I think it can give us some peace that we don't have to be hitting shots every single night for us to pull a win out.
When Max picks up his 4th, you're down 53-51. You score 11 straight, 18 after the next 20. Talk about the depth on this team and how much you guys trust each other.
It's just a lot of trust on the team. Like I said, we just got so many guys that could do so many different things. So, even when one of our best players go out, we got somebody in that can still make plays and still help us to win. And, that's what happened tonight.
You said it's the second best scoring team in the conference so far. How is the team looking to continue your offensive success for this season?
Just continue to build that trust within each other. It's a lot of new guys still, so we still figuring out each other. But I think just the trust and then playing with pace, getting the ball out and just getting in the paint and sharing the ball and different things like that.
Okay, James, late night game, obviously you score a big chunk of your points. When it starts to get to that crunch time, do you feel like you just have that feeling that you're ready to turn it on? Or what was kind of the feeling out there? It just felt like, crunch time came around and you were ready to go.
Yeah, but I think my teammates just, they were making plays, so it kind of loosened the defense up on me because we had Trey hitting threes and Garrett getting downhill and Max making plays and June making plays in the post, which was really big for us tonight. So then once the defense is loosened up, then I can attack and I was able to get a wide open 3 and a wide open layup. Thanks to my teammates and them being so aggressive and making plays.
More questions? JB, I know last year you had a career night against Hofstra, but you weren't able to get the win. Did you have this game circled on the calendar heading in? Anything like that?
No, not really, because Coach preaches every game's a big game. So no matter who's on the schedule, I really want to come to play. Of course, I remember that we lost there last year, so but I want to win every game, and we were able to do that tonight.
You guys went on an 18-2 run in the second half after being down 53-51. What was going on in the huddle? What was the team talking about to kind of flip that switch?
Coach just said it's all about our defense. Every time out we came back and just said it's about our defense, about getting stops. Because when we get stops, we got weapons, so we can get out and play fast in transition. But if we're not getting stops, we're not gonna be able to do that. So coach just kept preaching getting stops, and once we buckled down and was really getting stops, we were able to get out and run and score some points.
You guys have a lot of new faces this year, whether it be freshmen or transfers, anything like that. But your ball movement and passing sequences are looking really strong. What is it about the team in terms of practice or before games that is allowing you to have that chemistry?
I think first it's just being unselfish. So playing with a bunch of guys that's unselfish and willing to pass. Then you add talent to that, and then that's when you get people guys getting downhill and making plays and passing to each other, and it's really fun. We're able to ping the ball around and everybody touching and everybody feeling good, and that's how we really want to play.
We've been together since June, like beginning of June. So, we've been practicing with each other. Coach always says iron sharpen iron. So when we're going together in practice, we kind of just like JB said, build that trust with each other where we all know that we have a lot of good players that can make a lot of, good plays. And if we just, if we just stay together and continue to share the ball, we all know that that's where the success comes. And like we said, just the trust that we all have in everybody. We've all seen everyone's great days. We've all seen everyone's bad days. And the fact that we could just continue to stay together, stick together, build this trust between us, I think it's going to go a long way for sure.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Where do they not sit? So I don't like it. They just kidding. Where you don't get sweaty on clothing.
All right, we'll start with an opening statement from the coach and then.
Yeah, obviously, we have a lot of respect for Hofstra. I was freshman in high school, and Speedy Claxton was a junior in high school at Christ the King. He was one of the guys that made me understand very quickly that I was not a Division I player. The guy was just an incredible player, both at Christ the King High School and at Hofstra, and now has just become a terrific coach. Incidentally, on that team was Eric Barkley, Lamar Odom, and Speedy Claxton. I'm not sure if anybody has any idea how good they were, but they were incredible. But a lot of respect for the program. They've been good for a long time. I think they've won 20 games, like 6 of the last 8 years. They won the Colonial or the Coastal, whatever we're calling it now, last year, regular season. And so I thought a great test for our group for this early in the year to play a team like at that level that is getting first place votes in that league. To have them at home was, I thought, a good litmus test for kind of where we were as a group, and knowing that there's a lot of firsts for our guys outside of James and even Max for that matter, and so I thought we responded very, very well. Asked them to have their best defensive game, and I think we certainly did. Because we didn't have our best offensive game, and that has a lot to do with Hofstra and their ability to defend. And I thought you couldn't really bend it on them in terms of with the dribble. They kept in front pretty good. So great for us.
In particular with the defense, I think the last 15 possessions, they got 7 points. And Stretch obviously had a moment in there, too.
Most unbelievable 2 blocks and a steal on 1 possession is like, we have like everyone talks about kills, like three stops in a row. He had it on 1 possession. It's just the guy is a tremendous defender. He can move his feet on the perimeter. He can block shots. He's a helper. And he's a great guy. He's got tremendous energy, and he's just a great fit for our institution and our group. And I needed, JB's a quiet leader. I needed a more vocal leader, and he fits the bill.
That defensive stretch there, the final 8 minutes or so, is that the best defense you've seen?
It was a jumbo package. It was. We've talked a little bit about Garrett, June, and Stretch out there together, and I'm not smart enough to haven't done that yet already. So I'm glad we did by necessity when Max gets his 4th. And I thought he played very, very good defense tonight on Thomas, and I was concerned, when he gets his 4th. But the big group did a nice job.
Dave, first of all, can you clarify, you and Steve Claxton played each other in high school?
No, he was already on varsity. I was on the freshman team. He's 2 years older than me. Lamar Odom and Eric Barkley are a year older, but those guys were already up. I mean, he was a junior. They were sophomores. I think they won the championship junior year, then won every game the next year and lost in the championship to Rice. And then I believe Speedy graduated, and I believe Lamar Odom went to a prep school. But like on a 2-year run of watching those guys, I'm like, oh my God, like this guy's unbelievable.
Garrett Johnson, I mean, I think he's been one of the biggest stories of this team so far.
Yeah.
A lot of media coverage, a lot of eyes on him so far. Can you talk about how he's been able to sort of keep up this performance with sort of all this extra things?
He's an incredible young man. I listened to the Rob Dowster pod, and he talked, the way he spoke about what he's been through is just that of somebody who's incredibly mature, and I think he's had to become mature as anybody who goes through something like that. Now, I would say to him, like, can you talk a little bit more around me and your teammates the way you just talked to Rob Dowster for 30 minutes or whatever? Because he is a quiet guy and he's got a deep voice. And sometimes I'm trying to get him to enunciate more on the court. But the guy is, it's no surprise it's a surprise to whoever, but it's not a surprise to me the way he's playing. But we're not the type to go have a parade for somebody before they played a game. But we knew this guy's going to be really, really good.
We know what Darren can do. We've seen the first few games, but I think in this game he was handling the ball a lot more, really bringing it up.
That's where we see him. Yeah, I see him as a primary, not even a secondary playmaker, like a primary playmaker. He is the third youngest guy on our team. I think I've said that. He looks like a man, and yet he's very young. And, when you see him and how physical he can be, you don't necessarily, until you start watching him, the guy is very unselfish, a good ball handler, an excellent passer. He's a weapon, and a unique player, which, in this day and age when you're playing positionless and, 5 out or what have you, like we have, he's so unique, and he was very, very good tonight as he was in the second half the other night.
Mark,
You made a couple of runs after Max picked up his fourth foul.
Yeah.
What does that say about the depth and the trust that these guys have in each other?
Yeah, they're good. I think they have, and I have got a lot of faith even in some of the guys that we're not playing as much right now, and I want to play more, and we will hopefully find an opportunity to do that, to go maybe even a little bit deeper. I would also say that the 8 guys are playing very well. Benny didn't have a particularly good night tonight, but I think he had 2 very good nights last week. So, those guys as a unit, it's easier to sub 8 when as a coach, so that makes it a little bit easier on me. And James is hard to take out, as we know. So I think I got him out for a second in the first half, maybe 3 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever. But I like the depth, and I think there's more. There's actually more there too.
Coach, what did you guys adjust defensively from the first half to the second half? They shot 41% from 3, and then second
Yeah,
half
it was less help. Yeah, less help on. I thought we made a couple of mistakes on Thomas, just simply mistakes, which was no teaching. It was like, don't make that mistake again. And then less help off Thomas and Dubar. More funneling them to the paint. When you have a guy like Stretch, you can do some of that. Yeah.
Coach, when I talked to you in the preseason, you said not many people really know about you guys.
Yeah.
People really know anyone outside of James and
Max.
Max.
Yeah.
Do you think that's changed with the way that these other guys have been playing only 3 games into the season?
Well, I would think tonight is an opportunity for people to learn a little bit more. When you're playing a program that's had this type of success that Hofstra is, but it's just early in the year. It's I'm not. I was at Miami 11 years. I mean, I don't know that we ever picked to be any good ever. So I just think there's an idea that it's hard. I think in this day and age too, I think it's hard. People don't know anybody's teams. Everyone's got so many new guys. So I think we had a confidence that we could take a step forward, but we had a lot of unknowns too. So
I asked James about just when it came to that crunch time of him kind of step into that role.
Yeah,
That he is.
I said to myself and to the staff, kind of like right in that spot, like, hey, let's not forget about number 11 here. Like, we did a few things, but let's not forget about him at the end. That's that old saying, like, you don't, when you get to close games, you think less about plays and more about players. And then also thought, it was going to be an opportunity to backdoor them because, they're trying to get back in the game. And so then we wanted to pick on somebody and go backdoor. Trey got a beautiful backdoor. So I feel good about, kind of the way we execute down the stretch. Even that, I'm just trying to bring the clock down at the end. We could have cleaned those up a little bit, but quite honestly, I didn't really care. I just wanted to bring the clock down as much as we could on each of those possessions. So there might have been the lineup being a little strange didn't help me there. Like we could have, but I didn't want to throw passes. I just want to bring it down, and just leave James to make a choice. If he makes a good choice, great. If he doesn't, well, let's just get back. And we've burned, 25 seconds off the clock,
Trey, I'm sure you had a breakout game tonight.
It was awesome.
You had talked after the first game. You said you could tell from the first time you saw him that day that he was shaky. He was a little nervous being a younger player.
I think it was like over excited. You know what I mean? Like he's an excited. He's a great guy. He's been around the game his whole life. He's a smart player. I'm glad he made those two. I think in the second half. Both in the second half, maybe, or one in the first, but a big one late in the second. And 10 and 6 for him is and a steal, block. I think he's a guy that everybody around here will enjoy getting to know too as a person. He's just a neat person. He had a funny line the other day when William and Mary was playing Thursday, and he was like, "Team watch party against America. They're playing American," and I'm like, "No!" And he got mad. He was like, "Oh, why did you like scream at Liam?" No, I'm like, "Well, because if William and Mary didn't happen to play well, I don't want you guys like watching that and formulating opinion. Like, matter of fact, don't even watch it. Like, I'm gonna make up a story, no matter what. Now they won by 20, so it was an easy story to make up. But like, don't even watch it. Like, because I'm gonna create the narrative on Friday. I don't want you thinking about this." He was like, "Oh, okay, sorry. You don't have to snap at me, like." So he's got some great energy.
Any other questions? All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Been a minute since I've been here.